Hello and welcome to a speed build. Today we are going to be doing Gigi's house. I'm really excited to share this video with you guys. We are going to be building her house in G2. I was contemplating, what was it? C5, but I think by the end we went with G2. And I figured we would do like a little history about Gigi while we watch the speed build. She wanted an actress's green room. I'm also a performer, so I had a lot of fun with this concept and idea. I figured Gigi would definitely have some photos of herself in her green room. So Gigi is a snooty villager. She's a frog, obviously, with a little blonde bob. And she has the phrase ribbit. Ribbit? Ribbit. It's got two T's, so I feel like it's got a little fancy moment at the end there. And her birthday is 8/11, which is very fitting because she's a Leo, and that makes total sense. And she first appeared in City Folk. So, yeah. That's my little 411 on Gigi, the snooty frog. So we eventually are going to be changing the walls. I was having some trouble with the layout at first because both of her required items were quite boxy. It was the little changing room area and then her makeup stand. And because I haven't unlocked walls yet, so this is my fourth villager build that I've ever done with Happy Home Paradise. So I haven't unlocked everything yet. I haven't unlocked a whole lot of items. So when I did this build, I didn't have, walls unlocked or making the room bigger or anything like that. So we just had to work with what we had. But yeah, we made it work in the end. It's gonna look completely different than it does right now, trust me. And I went with a really warm tone wood for this build. And if you've seen my other build with Deirdre, I also went quite warm in that one. Well, I kind of had to. The swatches had to be warm almost, so it wasn't too much of an option. There I started using the rose bed. I wasn't going to use it at first because it's very bulky and I don't always love like giant items, especially in rooms this small. But I just really felt like Gigi needed a place to lounge and sleep. So I really ended up liking, especially the placement, and you'll see at the end how it all comes together. I really enjoyed the rose bed. So now we're coming to the final spot of where that dressing room's gonna be, but then my dilemma became the window. So in the end, we did change some things around, but I won't spoil it. And I had the idea, here's where I had the idea to do almost like a walk-in closet type of, I figured she'd have her costumes or maybe her like fancy shoe wall or whatever. I played around with a bunch of different clothing items. I loved all of the clothing items I unlocked when I did Gigi's place. So I had a lot of fun playing with what she would wear, what role she was playing. And yeah, I ended up going for all black in the end, but you can see me playing around with some different colors because she's a purple frog, and I do like to coordinate some of my builds with the color of the villager and what their aesthetic would be. And yeah, I'm really loving Happy Home Paradise. I keep saying Happy Home Designer or Happy Home Paradise. I never know what it actually is. I think it's Happy Home Paradise, but correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, so this is my first speed build ever. So, if it's too slow or too fast, or if you guys have any suggestions, like please sound off in the comments. I'm totally open for any of it. I'm quite new at the whole speed build thing, but I just thought these houses really lended themselves to a speed build format, and I wanted to give it a go. So here we are. Fresh tea. I'm drinking berries tea. I don't know if anyone else drinks berries tea. It's an Irish tea. It's hard to get in the States. So yeah. So here's where I started putting her little, it's not a shrine, but it's like, she loves herself, which is admirable, honestly. And so I had a lot of fun with the different flowers and how bougie this could get. So I had to remove some of her shoes. So it doesn't end up being a full shoe wall. I think she ends up having only 2 shoes. But yeah, in the end, I think it turned out really nice. I'm really loving this Happy Home Paradise. I forget if that's what it's actually called. Previously, I did Deirdre, I've done Pecan, and I've done Eloise. I think almost everybody had Eloise, unless you had Eloise on your island, and then I don't know what villager you would have. So if you had anybody else but Eloise for your first villager design, please let me know in the comments. I think this pack is totally worth $24.99. I mean, the amount of hours. This is where I fixed, sorry, I'm sidetracked. This is where I fixed the window situation. I just made it, you know what, I imagine this being in a theater somewhere, and typically green rooms in theaters are indoors, obviously, because you're changing, and you know, they're just completely closed off. So I thought it was fitting that she wouldn't have any windows. So I solved that little issue right there. So now we're moving on to the outside of the house. And I absolutely love the design that I chose, the color combination. I went with a bigger house just because I wanted it to be very grand. Typically, I like to do a lot of more natural feeling exteriors, but for some reason this felt more fancy and, I don't know, elegant. That's the word I'm looking for. And so yeah, here I decided to go with the cedar trees because, is that what they're called? I don't know. Not the pine trees, because clearly surrounding the rest of her house, I just wanted everything to match really nicely. And we did a white lattice fence. I didn't do too much fencing, but I didn't go as foresty, natural vibes as usual. I just wanted it to be very manicured and very clearly taken care of, because I just feel like that would be required for her vacation home to be manicured in that way. I do end up putting some flowers in and making a little area down at the bottom, I think. I could be wrong. We'll see when we get there. But yeah, I think I'm really pleased with how this one came out. I was a little nervous about using all of the same flowers as well. I do typically like to change up the flower variants. I think it looks okay with just the white roses. So, and yes, here's where I imagined her hiring someone to play piano for her as she stared out onto the sea and ate her Jell-O. There's an item, you'll see it in a second. There's a Jell-O, like gelatin cake or gelatin, I don't know what that's called. I've never had it in real life. It looks delicious. I love Jell-O. But yeah, I put that on the side. I just imagined her having someone serenade her while she is on vacation. So that was my thought behind the grand piano there. And oh yes, she has her, I imagine it being a cocktail, like a Sex on the Beach or a Malibu Bay Breeze or something like that she's sipping there while she listens as well. So yeah. And here I'm trying to figure out if I'm putting something at the bottom there. I don't think I end up actually putting anything down there. I think it all just kind of stays up top there. And you'll see in some of my other builds, I have this really awesome custom path that I like to use for stonework. I didn't end up using it in this build, but I can have it linked, the creator code linked down below. If you're interested in all of the codes, all of the paths that this creator does are quite amazing. So I'll definitely have them linked down below, because in other builds you'll definitely see me use those stones, and she has different dirt paths as well. So yeah, and here's where I was playing around with the idea of having trees there. I think I do end up keeping them. I do like it. Oh, and here's where I start get the idea for the little gelatin guy. I don't know what that is. Cherry jelly, that's what it's called. But yeah, so here we go. Here is the final walkthrough of the Gigi, of Gigi's actress green room, an actress's green room. So this is the exterior, and one of my favorite items of this whole thing, of the whole update, is the flower stand right there. It's just the colorways, there's so many. It is a little big. I wish it was a little smaller so we could like sneak it in smaller places, but I still think it's just incredible. And okay, so here we're gonna head on inside. All right, yes, I love, if I ever become a famous actress, I would hope to have a green room like this. This is just, oh my gosh, I absolutely love it. I love how it turned out. I imagine a fan gave her a basket of, I don't know, goods, just baked goods. So that was my thought process with putting the basket there. And yes, she's got her makeup on her vanity, and she listens to, oh yes, her song is KK Flamenco, I think, or I'm not sure. Somebody let me know if that's correct or not, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I really hope you enjoyed the video, and this is the end. So please like and subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the screenshots. Thank you so much for watching.